Welcome back. You're still watching the Afia Morning Show, and the show is swiftly winding down, so we're going to try to compress things as much as we possibly can. Now, ahead of the 2012, of course, the election, the Anambra State gubernatorial election this November 8th, Anambra State Governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, has stated that he has opponents, but not opposition. Speaking during a media chat, Soludo clarified that his recent controversial remark at a rally was directed at party structures and not voters, stressing that it was not an inducement for or cash for vote statement. Responding to questions, the governor also raised concerns about the authenticity of certain candidates' academic qualifications, describing fake certifications as a national crisis and pledging to implement or rather domesticate certificate verification in Anambra State in line with the federal government's directives. Now, the governor also said his administration is firing on all cylinders, expressing optimism in the country that he has opponents, rather, but no opposition. He has been clear on making sure all the flames are firing, that he has opponents but no opposition. He also described President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as his friend. And of course, he also responded in that same media rally to the genocide, Christian genocide, and of course, he's basically not backing it in any way or form. Now, we saw it, we watched it, like other Nigerians. What's your reaction to these statements by the governor?
Nothing surprising. A mixture of some arrogance, which all politicians have. I mean, saying I have opponents but no opposition. It's also a sort of hubris that comes with being the incumbent in Nigeria. When you control the infrastructure of the state, you always have an unhealthy advantage in Nigeria, being that our elections are not exactly above board. But I won't say more than that, but nobody can say that an election that has I'm going to say hundreds, thousands of petitions at tribunals after every election cannot be said to be above board. When from councillorship all the way to presidency, you have thousands of petitions for every election. And that's because incumbency power, skews the elections. Talking about, being sure of keeping Anambra, I'm not very, very sure if Prof is being given all the information. I know that there's incumbency, but unfortunately we don't have honest opinion polls in Nigeria. Everything is skewed. If not, would have had a clear picture of how the people of Anambra really feel. In my opinion, right now, there's no clear leader, and people are keeping their votes to their chest. Saying President Tinubu is his friend, again, is like trying to hint INEC on who to work with. Right. It's so sad in Nigeria that we understand that your relationship with the center, incumbency, all those things play a big role in whether or not you win an election, not just campaigning, voting, and honest collation. And that's why you see him making all the statements, including, a government official now. He wouldn't want to say anything about the genocide, being that one is a governor in Nigeria, even though he's not in the APC, but he's saying the president is his friend, so he's going to toe the APC line. And of course, we saw Peter Obi take a stance on the Christian genocide, and we know that Prof will always take the opposite side of anything Peter Obi takes. So that didn't surprise me either.
All right. Well, in subsequent bulletins, we'll give you a more robust report on the media rally with the Anambra State Governor, of course, attended by media colleagues. Now, away from there, rather tragic news. A fatal accident on the Nsukka-Enugu highway has reportedly claimed the lives of a student and a driver who were en route to Enugu. Now, according to eyewitness accounts, the commercial vehicle departed late from the park in Nsukka and was operating without functional headlights. The vehicle allegedly collided with a stationary trailer parked along the roadside. The students were said to be on their way to attend the DAVIDO'S concert. Several other passengers were said to have sustained serious injuries, including reports of head trauma and skull fractures, and are currently receiving treatment at Bishop Shanahan Hospital in Nsukka. So, we do have the footage, but I must warn you, as we react to this, you would see the footage, and I must say that viewer discretion is strongly advised. The concert made the weekend come alive. Lots of people attended it. These students were trying to also be a part of it, but it set forth late, no headlights on the vehicle, and then it rammed into a truck that was parked, as eyewitnesses alleged. What do you think, Nnamdi? How do you react to this?
Federal Road Safety Commission, Ministry of Transport, VIO, if they spend more time clamping down and detaining drivers of buses with substandard lights, broken headlights, no headlights, you know, cars that look like they're being held together by stapler and chewing gum, you would have fewer accidents. But no, they're looking for young boys driving Venza or Camrys that they can call Yahoo boys and extort money from them. That's where their attention always is. You would see buses that are barely functional passing and parked by the roadside, all luxurious, expensive, nice cars. Or they're looking for women drivers who they know usually forget to, you know, update their papers, because these are good traps where they can extort money. And I'm calling them out. They should say what they want. They should deny the extortion. You know, this is the police, the FRSC, the VIO, the MOT, everybody.
Right.
They all do it. And so you have a situation where the real criminals, the people, those bosses that if you close the door too hard, the carburetor might fall down. Those vehicles are left to roam freely from Nsukka to, you see some of these cars barely roadworthy, being used as taxis at night. And so, you know, all the talk of, oh, they were going to Davido concert, all those things, people will go where they need to go.
That's true.
But the fact that somebody responsible for transportation is not driving the optimum car.
It's rather
Cars
sad.
for public transport should be in the best shape.
Right. I mean, it's a great call out there, and we must also say that Afia TV is on ground, currently investigating the situation at Bishop Shanahan Hospital. And of course, on the morning show tomorrow, Elijah Akuma will bring us insights on the recovery of the victims. And we send our heartfelt condolences to the families who have lost their loved ones. And we do hope that the superstar does something, because these were his fans coming, in fact, to celebrate him as alleged. Now, students of Godfrey Okoye University were reportedly prevented from attending the DAVIDO'S 5 concert held, of course, on November 1st in the state. Although no official memo from the school has been released, as at press time, viral social media post indicates that the directive was personally enforced by the Vice Chancellor, Professor Christian Anyeke, who was seen conducting roll calls at the female hostel, allegedly to ensure compliance. Take a look.
Who's playing that?
According to the viral social media posts, the university management cited safety concerns as the primary reason for the restriction. But despite the directive, some students were said to have found alternative ways to celebrate and enjoy the evening. Take a look. All right, and you can see some theatrics there as one of the male students decided to embody the superstar, Davido. Nnamdi, what's your take? Does a university have the grounds to bar students from a concert, let alone a Davido concert?
Let me first start with the boys' hostel, because, I mean, it's like we have never changed. It's the same thing that we would have done during my time in school. Boys would never change. Boys will always be boys and will always make the best of any situation they find themselves in. You're talking about people who are coming on stage as Davido and the other guys. The people who probably plan this thing are probably the boys with the flashlight phones posing as the crowd. Those are probably the main organizers of the whole thing, because everybody knows their rule and everybody just wants to have fun. And you know, I'm happy to see that such things still happen. With the VC of Godfrey Okoye doing his thing, I understand what he's saying about safety and protecting people. But here's my own opinion, and this has been coming from a long time. From the early days of Babcock University, Covenant University, and all the religious universities, I think we've started a process of infantilizing adults and treating them as children. By the time you get to university, you are not a child. You are not to be given a coffee. You are not to sign an exit to leave the school. You are supposed to be somebody who is getting ready to take control of your life. University is supposed to be a preview of what real life is, how you can balance your responsibilities when you have your free will and your ability to do what you want. Taking people back to secondary school when they are in university, coming to count who and who did not go for DAVIDO'S concerts. Many of our parents got pregnant and got married when they were in 200 level. So this idea of infantilizing university students, maybe because students enter earlier than usual now, I don't know, but I have never been for it. I will always be against it. That's just my opinion.
All right. Now, there are some concerns in quarters that where there are security reasons that a university stands or has the authority to try to provide a safer alternative, even if it's to bar them. But that's up for debate. I mean, as a Nigerian, how do you feel about this allegation? Do you think it's within the rights of the university to bar students from going for a concert, let alone a Davido concert, for security reasons? As said, do you think that's allowed at the university level, at the tertiary institution level? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And we understand that the weekend came alive for this concert, but there was mild drama that ensued in certain households. In fact, a report reaching me at the weekend said a couple got into a fight because, well, his wife, the man's wife, wanted to attend the concert. And he refused. Even when his cousin said that he would look after the kids, that they should both go, he allegedly still refused and ended up getting into an altercation, during which time this man decided to strip his wife naked on the street because of a Davido concert. We'll continue to assess the fallout in subsequent editions of the morning show, but priority right now is the planned intervention by the U.S. president in Nigeria. Of course, as the week progresses, we'll get you more reactions as we follow this story closely. Thank you once again for watching the Afia Morning Show. Until we meet again tomorrow at 8 a.m., I remain your host, Nathalie Uku.
I'm Nnamdi Obaya. Have a fantastic morning.